You debated Biden the first time, and you debated him the second time. How much of a difference did you notice from the two?
You look at Kamala, she's worse than Biden. The next day, you remember they announced that crime is up like 45%, so I was right. But I haven't gotten an apology from David, but I don't watch him anymore. I haven't gotten an apology.
I have been so wrong about this man because I never understood why you fight the way you fight. You're a family man. First of all, Mr. President, thank you so much for doing this. This is a tremendous honor for me.
I'm a big fan, so just so you understand.
Thank you. Well, I'm glad because I've got an issue with you, and and when you gave me this opportunity, first of all, thank you for coming on the Gutfeld show. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
It's a good show.
And I actually owe you an apology before we start. I've been very critical about you, how you fight all through the campaigns. I voted for you because I like policy. Right. I didn't know you as a man. And I think when you don't understand what a man fights for, you can get lost, especially with all the noise we're seeing from fake news, et cetera, who created these pictures from you.
There is noise.
So Gutfeld show's over. Cameras are off. We go backstage, and I expected you to be like every politician or anybody I've ever celebrity I've bodyguarded for, and you met my family, and you talked to my daughter. Mm-hmm. My daughter is 10 years old. Her name is Georgie. You guys talked for 20 minutes. If nobody knew, you could have been her grandfather. And you were talking about her horses and her dreams. And I was sitting there and I was like, I have been so wrong about this man because I never understood why you fight the way you fight. You're a family man.
Yeah, I am. Well,
you're a father.
And your daughters are gorgeous, really, and your wife, the whole thing. I mean, you have got some setup, I'll tell you. But your family's great and you're great and you've really done something and you've captured a certain spirit. You know, a friend of mine who's very smart, he's also a very big guy. He said, because I'm big and strong, people think I'm not the smartest guy.
Oh, I know.
Okay? You are a really smart guy. And I see it, and I've watched it, and I like the show. And we have the privilege of having had the highest rating in the history of the show when I did it a couple of weeks ago. That was his highest
of all
rating.
time.
Of all time, yeah.
We beat network television.
You beat everybody.
And they were up 35 million homes,
right. Yes,
and it was a landslide.
Yep.
Now, you're putting it on me. I'm throwing it back to you, Mr. President.
Go ahead.
Why do we not hear more about Donald Trump, the father, the grandfather? And I did a deep dive. There are some things you have done that when they say those horrible things like he's Hitler, he's a racist, did they not forget in 1991 what you did with Nelson Mandela? Yeah. Would you care to share that? Because I would love to hear that.
I never talk about it.
No, you do not. And I know why, because you're a man.
Yeah. I mean, I just have great relationships with a lot of people. People say that, a little bit like you do. I don't think it's a narrative the press likes. Maybe it's not even a narrative that I should have. We have to protect our country, and maybe we should let the other side. I don't even call them the enemy. I think we have more of an enemy from within than we do from outside. If you have a smart president, they talk about China and Russia and everything else. If you have a smart president, they're not going to be the problem. We have a bigger problem from within, and they hate it. I noticed today they were saying, he said the enemy from within. Of course, it's Adam Schiff. These are bad people. These are sick people and bad people, and it's true. But I think it's a narrative that they don't like, frankly. I think the fake news, a term I think I came up with. I'm very proud.
Oh, you did. You coined it.
It's not tough.
You should probably trademarked it, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, I should try.
I'm not going to give you business tips.
But it's funny because it's a great term, but it's actually not strong enough because it's beyond fake. It's really bad.
Nelson Mandela and 80 of his constituents were trying to come to the United States.
Yeah.
The United States government wasn't helping him. No one was helping him. You chartered a 727 plane for their entire trip.
Yeah.
How is somebody, and that's crazy because you can talk about anything, and why is it hard for you to talk about the things you've done? It runs in your family. Your father helped build a synagogue. I mean, why do we not know those things?
It's something that I've never, I love doing it. I don't need praise for it. I don't, we all like a certain level of praise, but I've never, I just like helping people. I help a lot of people, and I enjoy doing it, and I never talk about it. It's nice that you bring it up. I also think it's not a narrative that the press likes talking about, for me.
But I think it would help a lot of the American people who have been misled, I myself included. Now, listen, I'm voting for you now because of the man you are, not just because of the policies, because not every American will get the opportunity that I had to saw who you were backstage. And that's why I have this list. I mean, I have testimonials. We can't go through all of them because
I want to see them.
Now this was I had to dig deep.
I like that.
You donated $100,000 to raise dogs. You're not even a dog guy. Yeah. Explain that.
Well, that's Lara. So I have the wife of Eric, and she's a terrific person. You know, she's actually now a very big an important person in getting elected in the Republican Party. She comes from North Carolina. She loves the dogs. And I did that in her honor, actually. And, you know, if you listen to her, boy, dogs are treated very badly. They're, you know, some evil people having to do even with dogs. So I did that for my daughter-in-law, more so than me. I don't know that much about dogs, but I want to take care of them. And I had an opportunity. You know, as president, you can do a lot of things. I did a lot. The size of the kennels, the size of the cage. You know, there's like cages that they're in. And it's terrible. It's like you have no room, no nothing. And she came in with a whole group of people. These are people that really fight hard for dogs. I mean, you have people that fight. And she's a good person, so I did it for her.
I have hundreds of employees who have said things like, you've paid medical bills, you paid mortgages, rents, you've helped get family members. There's one story in here where a brother came in with a business plan. Nobody would hear him. You gave him 10 minutes, you shook his hand, and you cut him a check. Yeah. Why is it so hard for you and even your team? I'm a little upset. These are things that I think the American people need to know. And I get it, you're humble because you're a father first and a grandfather. And that's something, again, one thing we need in this country is we need a father figure again. We need husbands and boyfriends and young men we need to see that fathers are capable of great things because we've dealt with it, especially in the last 3.5 years, a complete dismemberment of what it is to be a man. We're under attack for everything.
We are. Well, actually, manhood is under attack. I see things that are so beautiful, and the next day I see they're knocking the hell out of somebody for doing something that a day before I said, what a wonderful thing. No, we have to get back a little bit more. You know, the other thing under attack is religion. Religion was like the glue that kept this country together, and so many people are mocking it now. They mock it, and it just kept our country together. But it's absolutely under attack, and under attack by this administration. And you look at Kamala, she's worse than Biden. Biden he's out of it, okay?
Oh, yeah.
But she's actually not as smart as Biden. Biden was smarter than her. I think to this day he is. And I don't think the country can take a chance on having her. I think it's a tremendous... I don't even think it's a chance.
Well, let me ask you...
I think it would be a disaster.
Let me ask you the question that was posed to her last night that she refused to answer. You debated Biden the first time, and you debated him the second time. How much of a difference did you notice from the two?
So, are you talking about her and him, or are you talking about just him?
This is interviews about you.
Well, he was different. I think he had a really bad night. I don't think it...
Cognitively?
I don't know. He had a really bad, the second time.
Yeah.
I think he had a really bad time of it. So I debated him before, and he was okay. Look, I hit him hard. I asked him about $3.5 million. Remember when Chris Wallace was protecting him? Chris Wallace is not doing so well. Chris Wallace is not Mike. But I asked him about the 3.5 given to him by the mayor of Moscow's wife. I said, how do you justify this? And then I always have 2 or 3 people to debate. The last time I had David Muir.
I call them interventions.
Oh, they're terrible. Yeah. Well, David Muir, I said, crime is through the roof. It's way up. And he said, no, it's not. It's way down. The FBI said so. Well, the FBI didn't include a lot of places.
Funny how that is.
Yeah. The next day, you remember they announced that crime is up like 45%. So I was right. But I haven't gotten an apology from David Muir. But I don't watch him anymore. I haven't gotten an apology. No, I think Biden, look, the debate he had was not great. But I think that he's a step above her, actually.
Speaking of apologies, the brave men and women on the border, especially the horse division, that their lives were put in shambles. One of the things I have on my policy list was that would you consider giving them a day at the White House? A moment to be recognized.
Are we talking where they were saying about the whips and everything else, which didn't exist?
Not just them, but their families. When the President of the United States comes out and condemns them.
You do it. You set it up. We win, I'm there. Because I said we have to win. If we don't win, we're not going to have a country. You're right. They were brutalized. You know, it's interesting. these people are not smart, but they're vicious. They're very vicious. And you see it. It's like fascist. It's like Marxist. I don't know what the hell it is. But the level, look at me, the weaponization of the Justice Department. Nobody's ever seen anything like it.
America, again, this is not hyperbole. This is a guy, I don't fly private jets. I fly every airport I go to all over the country. 4 years ago.
Are you able to use like one seat? Because you are
first class. First class, of course.
One
Yes,
seat.
one seat. Yeah.
Well, that means you have to stay wealthy.
Well,
right?
or keep billing Fox. One or the other.
That's even better.
But yeah,
I like that even better.
Outsource the bill. But again, it when I think about the verbiage and the things that are said about you, even after, we don't even know how many assassination attempts there has been. But we know too, one of the things that when you, in that moment, when you stood up and you yelled, fight, 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 again, that's where I'm seeing the father. It wasn't about you. It was letting your family know you're okay, and you're more concerned about the people. But yet, I'm still waiting for the interview to talk to you about that. Why are we not sharing in that? That was a tremendous moment. I was in Oklahoma doing a stand-up show, and I thought I was going to cancel because I wasn't leaving the TV screen because I'm watching an assassination attempt on our president.
People were watching that. There's no question about it. That was a big deal.
But I went anyways to the show thinking no one would come, and they came. And instead of doing a stand-up show, I did a Q&A to talk about it. And there was a lot of veterans that were there that were talking about how much they support you and they believe in you, and that they were generally concerned. But they said they had no fear because when they saw you stand, you stood for them. Because veterans, our police, our first responders have been, forget the moral outrage of how they're treated.
They've been
the funding, stuff like that.
Sure.
And you have been doing some stuff with taxes. Yeah. Now, I did a little bit, and I'm not a mathematician, but I did a little bit of checking.